Hi, my name's Angela, and I'm having a cup of tea here at Float Space in Kelowna, and I want to share with you today how I discovered Float Space and why I continue to float at least 3 times a week, and why it's very important to me. Just under 3 years ago, I suffered a traumatic brain injury. Now, unfortunately, this was the 3rd severe concussion I had had to the same part of my brain, and it was the one that joined them all together. I found myself 6 weeks after the accident unable to really speak. I struggled to put more than 3 words together, and usually they weren't the right words, and I lost my ability to read. The concussion took away 2 of the most important things to me: my ability to learn and synthesize information, and my ability to communicate with other people, which I've built my entire career on. It was at the recommendation of Dr. Dan Engel, who wrote the concussion repair manual, that my mother get me into a float tank as soon as possible. He went back and forth with my mom on email and outlined how important it was for me to have that sensory deprivation that floating offers. So for those of you who aren't familiar with what floating is, basically you shower off, get really clean, you lay in a tank full of Epsom salt water, and there's so many Epsom salts in that water that you float on top of the water. It's in complete darkness, there's no light, no sound, and I have to tell you, it's one of the most peaceful environments you can be in to let your body heal. Now, first of all, when I was told to come floating, my response was something to the effect of, what, I'm going to be a naked jellyfish and this is going to fix my brain? Unbelievably, floating within 3 float sessions, I suddenly could hold a normal conversation for at least 5 to 8 minutes after I got out of the tank. And as I went through all my other therapies, I went through vision therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy and neuropsychological testing, working with an occupational therapist, an acupuncturist, massage therapist. We had every discipline imaginable. And the only way I can explain how floating fit in is floating was the glue that put my bricks back together. So all the other disciplines and therapies that I was working with, they were like those bricks. But in order to build my house again, I needed a mortar, a glue, to hold those bricks together as I built layer by layer and regained a lot of my neural functions. And floating was that mortar for me. I could go through an intense day of therapy, and instead of going home and not sleeping or feeling ill, I could come here and float for an hour and a half, and everything would integrate, and my body would calm down. It would have the rest, the solitude, the quietness, and my brain would be free to go into those lower bandwidths and move my body from that sympathetic to the parasympathetic system. Everything that every single professional was telling me to do, I was able to do in an hour and a half in a float tank. And as you can probably tell by this place, it is an oasis. When you come here, it's calm, it's soothing, and even though I am largely healed, I'm working at almost 100% of my regular capacity, I still know that my floating practice is absolutely integral to maintaining my overall health and wellness. My doctors have run blood tests. They can't get over it how healthy I am. I'm avoiding so many of the issues that stress cause. And let's be honest, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a businesswoman, I work in my community, I have stress. And the float space is the one place I can come to continuously to just soothe that away and bring me back to centered. I've never been able to meditate before, even though I fully acknowledge the benefits of meditation. But when I'm in the tank, it's the place I can meditate, it's the place I can create. I come out of there feeling recharged, like I've had 6 great nights of sleep, worked out, ate right, and life is great. So if you are suffering with concussions or brain injuries, stress disorders, all those mystery things that nobody can seem to put their finger on, give floating a try. Come down here to Float Space in Kelowna. Try a couple of sessions. Now, it's not a bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. It's not a magic solution. It is a practice, just like yoga, just like meditation. The more you do it, the better you feel, the better you get. And in recent months, Carol has added in an infrared sauna, which if you want the mecca, go for a float, then a sauna. It is like rolling back the odometer on your body. So, Float Space Kelowna, come see Carol Bodart. And my name's Angela, and I hope I'll see you here someday.